everybody. Welcome back to Ventthis. I'm Chris McGarrian here with Paul Roseberry, our comedian and dating coach. And today's episode is titled, Ladies, Respect Our Decisions. So before we get into that, I want to introduce our very special guest, a guy that I worked with 100 years ago on General Hospital. He was our music director, our music composer. He's a 10-time Emmy winner. I know he's got only 2 in the back. That's because he probably couldn't fit them all. And he's now currently on Young and the Restless. He's the music director and music composer. Please welcome my good friend, R.C. Cades. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo! Hello,
Hi,
everybody. Thanks for having me.
It's so nice having you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Dating aficionado?
Yeah, I'm a relationship coach.
I
Yeah.
real? Wait, for real?
Yeah. I take clients. I work a lot with guys. I'm also a matchmaker during the day. So yeah, I do a lot with the relationship world.
Like
He has a lot of hats.
Scented matches or just regular ones?
What's that?
Scented matches or just regular ones?
Scented matches? Is that what you said? Ah.
No, but yeah, Paul, if people have, we get a lot of vents in about complaining about relationships, and I throw that right to Paul. He knows how to handle, and he's good.
Well, Chrissy and I, between the two of us, we bounce it around pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see if we'll get any today. I mean, RC seems like when we were warming up, RC's got some good stories. He can hang. RC.
He can hang.
He can hang.
But I have a question for RC. I never asked him this when we worked together on General Hospital. Did you ever write music for Ricky Martin? Ricky Martin was a growing, budding star. Now he's like this rock star all over the world. But when he was on our show, he was like a newbie, brand new. Did you write for him or?
I didn't. No, I didn't. That was, remember Mary Beth?
Yes.
Mary Beth and Marty and Mary Beth and another musician she had worked with in the past did all that stuff.
Okay.
I wasn't at that bar yet as far as the producers were concerned.
It was funny back then. He was not an actor, Ricky Martin.
No.
We brought him, Wendy Rich, our executive producer at the time, I guess was friends with him, knew him somehow, but he had this long hair and he was
way.
not camera savvy. So he would, talk, the hair would flip in front of his face. We'd have to stop and go, don't flip your head. Just
And English
tap.
was second language for him, so it was
Yeah,
it was a struggle.
it was a struggle.
And I like how I do remember in the late 90s, 2000 turn there when Ricky was blowing up, he talked quite a bit how he wrote his music, nobody else. And now 20 years later, it's pretty well understood. No. There was very much a group effort, and it's fun. I'm glad it's understood now because
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
a lot, and not just him, a lot of musicians, when they're first coming through, oh, it's straight from the heart. It's, then you find out, people like Sinead O'Connor, her big hit, Nothing Compares, was written by Prince,
I didn't know that.
very small black man with a woman's voice wrote that song. But hey, we all get it one way or another. Actually, too, there's a really good Netflix documentary about Elvis. I forget the name. If you look up Netflix Elvis, I didn't know Elvis was basically the world's greatest karaoke singer.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't write any of his own.
Write anything.
Nothing.
I mean, he made, back then, and it's even true now. I think he made deals where he got the price to play was that he got a writing credit on things.
Sure.
It's kind of the way the business works now, and we accept it that it's part of the way it goes. Because what are you going to say no if Katy Perry wants to perform your song, but she wants some writing credit for it? Who would say no to that?
Yeah. Yeah. Where otherwise it would be like farm system singer, what you're going to do it yourself in coffee shops, or Katy Perry can do it in the mainstream and you get $3 million. I have no idea, but
It's no different than you have an actor who's a star of a series or a movie and he gets the executive producer credit and he probably did absolutely nothing on that movie, but the name draws all the attention, right? It's the same idea, right, RC? Kind of?
Yeah. Well, also, by the way, because the bean counters have all kinds of rules, it's another way to justify paying them more money for another job. They get
Got it.
they get the slash job so that because otherwise they go, well, actors, we don't pay any actors more than X amount, but if they're an EP, they can get an EP salary on top of their acting salary for doing
I
nothing.
I I just heard that from a buddy who's an EP as well. He was telling me that is yeah, because sometimes you'll see, you know, that the star actor is also EP, and you're like, oh wow, he wears so many hats. That guy's so impressive. And they're like, dude, come on.
Not really.
Yeah, but like you said,
You can charge a wardrobe too. Yeah, right. He didn't do that.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, also too, I remember when I first moved to LA 20 years ago, it was a big thing. Maybe it still is. I don't know, but like actors would like have the grand opening of their restaurant. You know, like De Niro would have a restaurant. Ashton Kutcher had a restaurant.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres had a restaurant. And you're like, oh, wow. So I can go in the kitchen and see Ashton's new recipe that he's been working on all week. I don't think so. I don't
No.
think so. I think he'll be there once. I think he's a 7% margin partner. And
Yeah.
never be
Same
there
thing.
again.
Yeah. It's the
But
name
you went.
recognition.
You
Yeah.
know, you went. You're like, well, shit. Maybe we'll see Ashton Kutcher. Maybe, who knows?
No.
That's
Not a
funny.
fan of Ashton Kutcher, but anyway. Loretta, play the first bent, girly.
Why do men refuse to take a bath? I asked my husband to take a bath with me, and he said no, because it's uncomfortable. He said real men don't lie in water for hours. We get in the shower and hose everything down and get out. Can you believe this? What do your venters think? Signed, you are missing out.
I love baths. I
Really?
take a bath. I love baths. I don't care.
Alone?
How often do you bathe?
I'm
often do-
secure with my masculinity. I'm fine with taking baths.
How often would you say that you draw a bath over a shower? How long do you think how often?
Twice a week.
No shit.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. Put some bath salts in there, eucalyptus, grab a drink.
But
Grab
RC,
a
you
drink.
take showers too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh. The bath
So
is just a
Not the same day that I take a bath. I mean, but there are days when, and also to be honest with you, I can work. It's a way for me to relax and like I'll put my laptop next to the tub and watch the next show I'm going to work on. Take a bath.
Jesus, you might get
No
electrocuted.
shit.
Yeah, maybe. It could be
You said
therapeutic.
death
though.
is funny. What's that?
I mean, it could be therapeutic, the electricity. No, it's a battery. I'm not going to get electrocuted.
Oh,
Yeah, it'd be
okay.
fine. But I like the scene that you just said. All right, let me ask you this because this is something I've been thinking about lately. How's your bathroom lighting, RC? How's is it? Do you set it darker? Is it like an ambient?
It depends what mood I'm in, if I'm honest.
There we go. That's what we want.
I occasionally, if I'm feeling really fresh, I'd light some candles.
Get the fuck
No,
out.
By
it's
yourself?
no, it's
He
just
does. He does. He was afraid he went too far.
usually,
He's got
usually the lights are just normal. Because I'm reading too. So
I think, but guys, she wants her boyfriend or husband to get in the tub with her.
with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
RC,
that's part of the
I mean,
problem.
short of the lubrication problem, yeah, sounds great. Let's go. I'll get in the
Yeah.
tub. Wash my
No.
back. Great.
I
So-
agree.
Okay. All right.
I
Well,
don't-
no, I was gonna.
I know that it's a lot of men think it's not masculine. Oh, baths are for girls, but whatever, dude, you're missing out. The soaking is great. Feels good on the joints.
Well, when you say it's not masculine, I think we can all draw back to Scarface. That was a very masculine, very badass scene. Remember, he had that tub that was right at floor level in his bathroom, which I
Right.
believe was carpeted, which
Come
is a
on.
pretty bold move.
Say hello to my
carpeted
little
bath-
friend.
Huh?
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
he
that
was
movie.
inviting Michelle Pfeiffer to say hello to his little friend. That was a pretty masculine. But to me, all right, I'll tell you why I don't take the bath. One, I just don't think I have the patience often enough. And RC, to what you're saying, if I had the setup, it sounds like you got a pretty good setup. I guess if I thought about it more and I had a more conducive to chilling, maybe I
I have a
would. But anyway,
jacuzzi tub. I have a jacuzzi tub, so it helps.
wait, so is that what
Oh.
you're saying? Are you talking about a hot tub?
No, I'm saying that the
Oh, the jacuzzi
tub in my
tub. Yeah, yeah,
bathroom
with the
has
jets. Oh, okay. The one thing that I think is a deal breaker for me, and it's very solvable. I don't like the idea that when I stand up from the tub, I'm not rinsed. I still have all the soap, the residue. You see people in commercials or like in the movies, they dry the soap off with their towel. I'm
Yeah.
just a little too OCD. I don't want soap on my towel. I want to be soap free. I want to be clean rinsed, and I want the towel just to pick up water.
I'm a girl, okay?
Yeah.
I know you guys knew that.
We
The
are okay with it
water,
too.
yeah. I, I get kind of disgusted a little bit. I don't take baths, I take showers because I'm sitting in water that's been
Up your butt.
kind of, what?
Up your butt.
That too. But it gets dirty, it gets cold. And I'm like, how long can you, unless you have the jets, RC, but you have to get out of the bathtub to turn those jets on, or are there like buttons all around your tub where you can just put the thing on and,
I can order a pizza. I can turn on the jets. I can do whatever right from the tub.
oh, Jesus. This guy's got it made.
You really have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to think about, the approach of it's a destination, not a function. The shower is when you're like, I just got to get clean. I got to get on with my life. The tub is for the day when you're like, all right, I got an hour to kill. I'm going to watch another show. That for me, for somebody else, it might be I'm going to read my emails or whatever and just relax for a minute. It's quiet there. It's noisy everywhere else in my house. It's a minute to be quiet. I like it.
So
Water gets
maybe,
cold. The water gets cold. I
Work.
drain a little bit of it and put more hot water in. And
RC, RC, can you write off your tub on your taxes?
I should.
You can vouch. This episode is all you have to show them.
Yeah,
You use it for work at least 60%.
I like it.
As sound
Well,
engineer Gary held up a sign saying a working bath. The visual that RC has set up, he makes
We'll pay
an
for that.
incredible point, but it's the rarity, not the common. So I think most of us guys, I think it's an efficiency thing. I think we don't have the setup. I think RC's thought about it. I think if you reach a place in life where you got, some investable cash to deck out your jacuzzi, then because guys love to build shit. If we're like, oh, I don't just take a bath. I bought a bath. I bought the best bath, kind of like a Tim Allen, like, how many, horsepower do you have in your jets? Then we could get into it and be like, I take 4 baths a week because I got a fucking $85,000 tub with a, XP 500 jets. And yeah, but otherwise I don't think we have the energy.
It just occurred to me. My girlfriend always asks me if I want to get in the shower with her, and I say no to that. You know why? There's only one shower head, and if she's standing in front of it, I'm standing behind her getting cold.
That's fair. That is fair.
But if we're both in the tub, I mean, that the venter is saying she's not asking him to get into the tub so they can get clean together. It's a romantic gesture.
yes,
And
yes.
He just needs to get it.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
it
And
was,
if he doesn't get it.
but
Yeah,
if-
exactly. But at the same time, wait, Paul, it's not that I'm talking from experience, but it's got to be a little difficult to get the groove going in a bathtub. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think NRC did mention lubrication earlier. I think here's the middle ground. Here's how I think we can make this work. If she could have a conversation with him to let it be understood that it can just be romantic and there doesn't actually have to be sex. Because we all, when we're young and we're like, oh man, sex in the shower, it'll be like a movie. And then we're like, this is the shittiest, like a slip and slide with no water. This is the shittiest sex in the world. There's no way to be comfortable. There's a great chance to break 2 necks on a slippery surface. It sucks. The only thing slippery is the shower. And
Yeah.
everything else is just a sandpaper. So I think if you were just to say, hey, look, why don't we take a half hour and just sit in the tub together and talk? And then, if we're going to have
Warm
fun
up,
after,
get things warmed up, get everything
Yes.
fresh.
yeah,
know?
yes, yes,
Clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, and then finish the conversation in a more appropriate location.
with dryness where dryness belongs and
We're
nowhere
calling it-
else. So I think that's the happy medium. I think that's our advice for our venter is just to really come up with a logistical plan that works.
Explain it to him.
Yeah,
Men are dumb. Explain it to him.
yeah. But we only have to do that once or twice before we're like, oh God, I remember the physical pain that comes with that. I don't want to. Nah, no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
That's gonna suck. Yeah, I think that's the solution. And then come up with like, hey, maybe twice a year. You know what I mean? This isn't going to be like every week he's expected to have this new. Old dogs don't learn new tricks, but we can all show up once in a while. Maybe
Birthdays and
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
There he is. There he is. Twice a year, birthday and Valentine's Day. You better hope they're not on the same day.
Yeah, but you can't make it predictable. You can't go, oh, it's Valentine's Day. We're getting in the tub together.
Okay, Cinco de Mayo once in a while.
There he is. There he is. A couple margaritas before, some shots of tequila. Yeah. Well, and you know what? Is she really look, pick a day when he's not busy. You know he's not busy. You draw the bath, get the scene set up, and see if he doesn't want to join right now. You set it up.
Yeah.
Because is she relying on him? Is she asking him, I want you to surprise me with a bath, and he doesn't even like baths. Maybe you initiate, and then you say, hey, honey, there's something in the bathroom I want to show you. I got this thing over here I need a hand with. And then there it is.
And you get in the tub naked and, he walks in kind of
That's
thing,
like
right?
the greatest ploy ever. My
Isn't that
girlfriend
cool?
has used this one sentence. Come here, I want to show you something. We like that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Take
And then
notes,
I'm going to
Christy.
make,
That's a good one.
All right. Good. That's good to know.
and to the venter. Tell him you want to
So-
show him something. I got this thing over here.
Well, should we move on to the next vent?
We need to cool off. That's for sure.
Go take a
It
shower.
just got hot in the vent house.
Yeah, Paul, go take
Yeah.
a shower. You need to cool off.
I need a cold plunge after
Yeah.
that. That's what I need.
All right,
okay.
let's hit it, Loretta.
I was standing in line to pay my groceries, and the person behind me kept getting closer. I didn't like that. I moved up a little. She moved up a little. So
No.
I moved up more. She moved up more. I'm getting annoyed, but what can I do? Scream, get away from me. No, I'm a civilized person. Don't people know to keep a good distance from each other? Cripe, it's so simple.
My rule is if I can smell you, you're too close.
Unless it's like a good scent, and you're like, ah, shit, I should buy a scent.
I don't know.
It's not usually a good
Even
scent.
if it's a good scent, I don't know you. Back off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it means you probably bathed in it. You took a bath in it.
I mean,
There's an easy solution though.
what?
We all know the divider, right? The little
Yes.
divider thing. And so what you do is we all play that divider like it's Tetris. We try to pack everything in as tight as we can be and make it condensed. Just start lining your shit up lengthwise. Take
Push
your
it
dozen
back.
eggs, there's a foot. If you have 2 dozen eggs, there's 2 feet. And there's nothing on either side. So socially, that person knows you're not into them. Back the hell up. I could do this much more efficiently, but I'm not. I'm running it like a string of ants just because I know what you had for lunch and I don't want to. I think start stringing your groceries. Line them up.
Seriously. Look, if I can tell you didn't shave,
Bruh.
close.
If I can tell what you had for lunch,
Yeah.
you're too close.
If
Yeah.
I can tell you smoke, you're too close.
Wow.
And the way to back them off is release a little gas. Maybe do a burp. I don't know. You got to
Listen.
do something. And once he smells or she smells that, I guarantee you they're backing up.
Chrissy,
Well,
do you
I
have
use
that
the
on
sh-
demand?
I use the shopping cart.
But what if
There
you
you
don't have
go.
a shopping cart?
Well, but I pretty much always do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I never go to the grocery store for one thing. I'll
Yeah.
just so I've always got that, and I can just step in front of it, and it's a
100%.
barrier between us. If they don't get it, I'll give the shopping cart a little nudge.
Oh, RC. RC's got the sauce. He ain't
Yeah.
afraid. Well, even if you just have the basket, even though we all know the basket goes under the counter, you know what? This person doesn't even know how to give personal space. You don't have to appease them with your natural skills. I say you put the basket right up on the conveyor belt, again, as a spacer. Put the spacer down.
I like
and
your
then-
I like your method there.
because then it's very passive aggressive. And if the person comments, then you can be like, look, all right, fine. You're too close. That's why I
Yeah.
did it. Yes, I know the basket doesn't go on the counter. I know that, but you're too close.
But wait, Paul, I don't understand. I'm standing in line. There's somebody in front of me. I'm there, and there's a guy behind me. Let's say there's no cart. How am I going to put my basket The basket doesn't go anywhere because you're still holding it. The guy behind you still moving closer. So
So you're saying his stuff is already on the belt?
no,
It's already
there's
there?
no belt. You're standing in line to put the stuff on the belt.
I
So
think
you're just
your basket suddenly gets heavy, and you put it on the ground behind you.
There you go.
Be away from-
okay. Okay.
I
That
like that
works.
too. And you leave it for a minute. You leave it
Leave it.
until
You step a step away from the person, and maybe even look at the basket and look at them and say, "Do you understand what I'm doing here? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you right now, Mister Stinky, Mister Tuna Salad Sandwich?"
Yeah.
well, there's also the opportunity. I think we're being very, very defensive. We could spin it around and go full court press and just turn it around where they're already close. And you just say, as if you're not bothered by the closeness, and just lean in and go with a smile, "Do you
Yeah.
know Jesus?" And just see what they say. And you go, "Have you heard the good news?" And when they go, "What?" And you go, "Well, I'd love to tell you about the body and blood of Christ." And then they, "Oh, well, hey, you know what? I think I forgot something in aisle 5." And you're like, yeah, I think it was deodorant, asshole.
Brilliant.
Maybe it was manners in aisle 3. Maybe some chewing gum before you get back here. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I think even if you are religious, you don't want someone to get in your face and ask you if you know Jesus.
That's
Yeah,
that's
on
a
the way
good
back,
one.
Stop over in the "stay the fuck out of my space" aisle, would you?
Yeah. Pick up some decency manual next to the coloring books where children learn.
Pick up some social cues, would you?
Yeah. But you can't even be mad. If someone goes, "Hey, you're too close, fuck off," then that might be a fight. But if
Yeah.
you just go in and
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
"Hey, would you like to come to church with me on Sunday?" Then it's like, "Oh God, I can't hit this guy. He's a simpleton, but I want to get away."
Is Amway still a thing?
What is it?
Is Amway still a thing?
Dude, it should be. Mary Kay.
That could turn it. Yeah. Are you familiar with Mary Kay Cosmetics?
Just start talking to the guy.
Yeah, my kid's
Then
having a
you run the
fundraiser.
risk- if he starts talking back, now you're stuck.
Oh, and the worst is when they're that close to you and they're on the phone and they're having that conversation that they want everybody in the room to hear.
Yeah.
That's even worse because you're
Yeah.
like, you're smelling them and you're hearing them. It's like a double whammy.
Do you know what I've always wanted to do to that guy? I've always wanted to pick up my phone and been like, yeah, no, I'm at the store. This asshole next to me, he's so fucking loud. I just know he's unbelievable, fucking useless. Sorry. No, yeah, I think he heard me. Yeah, maybe he'll learn. Maybe he'll learn a little bit that he was. I've always wanted to do that. But again, now you're in a fist fight at Ralph's.
Yeah.
And that's what your friends from school see in the paper. You know, that's where you've made it in life. You fight people.
I've been in a situation where, the other register opens and they go, "Oh, you want to come here, to avoid the long line and that." So I go up and then I turn around. The guy behind me follows me. I'm like, really? I'm trying to get away from you, smell bag. And now you're behind me again on this register.
Well, you can just go, you know what? You go ahead.
You go ahead. That's what I would do.
Okay, that
the
works.
thing with new that's kind of a separate event, but same concept. When they open a new register,
Yeah.
you always know the kind of company you're around. If everybody understands, the second person in your line gets first dibs on the new line, not the last guy.
Right.
Not the last guy. You know, if someone's a real piece of work, if they just run over and they're last, and you go, no. The guy in the front gets first dibs.
Right.
He's the free agent. This is a draft. And that's,
Well, if the guy behind you runs over there first, you know who he is? He's the same douche on the airline that's behind you and gets up and tries to go in front of you. He doesn't wait his
Oh, that's the
100%.
worst.
100%.
Yeah. Same mentality. Yep.
You just
Yep.
go. You just go. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you're special. We'll all
Yeah.
wait. Go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't realize
Take him first. He's a VIP."
Yeah.
sitting behind me with the live chickens and,
Yeah.
and storage over here, the bowling balls. Yeah. He's not actually a first class financially, but mentally he should be sitting with the captain.
So I think we all agree that the person behind us that gets closer, we agree with the venter, is absolutely, unequivocally annoying and should know his boundaries. I like RC's idea. If I don't have a car, I'll just put the basket behind me so this dude
a great
doesn't,
idea.
get closer. Because I think you're right. If you can smell his lunch, if you can see the hair on his face and he needs a shave, that should be the criteria. He's got to back off.
Imagine though, I would love to see a moment where you leave the cut that little basket and you're whatever that step is that makes you go, oh, this is too far. You've now stepped 3 steps and it's time for you to move the basket. And that guy says to you, hey, you plan on moving this thing? And you go, well, I just needed a little space from you.
Yeah.
You just air it out. No, I know socially I should have moved it by now, but I felt like socially you didn't know you were standing too close. So that was why I did it. Of course I knew. And then the guy's like, oh, gee.
Paul, how many fights have you been in?
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
that explains a lot.
I've been kicked out of, I haven't been to Joshua Tree in a long time. I got chased out of a restaurant by the whole restaurant a couple of years ago.
I like your phone technique though. That's a good one too. I've always wanted, and either that or you just look at the guy and go, and he's talking loud and he's too close, and you go, what'd he say? What'd he say?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Yeah.
That's funny.
No,
Yeah.
dude, everything about you is too close to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you be offensive somewhere else, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Just join the convo. Like you said. Yeah. Jump right in. Like I wouldn't do that. What's that? Well, you just gave your buddy advice on what movie to go see. I think that one's shitty. Wait, who are you? Well, I'm the guy you invited to the conversation by yelling at the top of your lip. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. All right,
good.
should we?
I wouldn't go see that movie. That was a piece of shit.
Yeah, you got bad taste.
You terrible taste. You're 0 for 2. I've been listening since aisle 6.
By the way, they don't sell tuna fish sandwiches at the movie theater.
Wow.
But,
Wow. But I have a feeling you probably bring your own.
Yeah.
And by the way, in aisle 2, there's razors. Shave the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Should we go on to the next last vent?
Oh, we're
This
killing
is cool.
We're killing it.
How about the guy behind the pastry counter who has on a shirt that's too short, and every time he lifts his arm, I see a forest on his belly?
Oh,
If that doesn't hurt Biz, I don't know what will. Come on, tell me I'm not alone. And he thinks it's okay because he has a French accent. Signed, No Look in the Belly.
that's disgusting.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there's a Phil's Coffee, and I'll say it by name. Phil's, Philz. Phil's Coffee on Ventura Boulevard in Coldwater, near where I live. I went in there a while back, and there was this dude behind the counter. He was really buff. Young, buff guy. Definitely a body that's going to pick up some girls at a coffee shop, no doubt. But he was wearing a tank top, what we used to call in school a beater. And that was PC because you weren't saying what the full street term was. But
Yeah.
anyway, he was wearing a beater and he filled it out great, buff guy. But you don't wear a tank top in food service. It was disgusting. Every time he lifted his arms, you saw the full arm bush.
Oh, no.
It was just, dude, you know what? I bet you got girls for days. Go to bars on the weekends at night. Do what you got to do. Don't be near my food or my drink with just too much open skin. It's just kind of gross. Kind of gross.
I don't know. I would get all confused and order a fuzzy navel.
Terrible
Oh,
name for
sorry,
a drink.
we're
I
in
never
a-
knew
we're
how
in
they
a
pulled that
coffee
off. I never knew. As a kid, I never knew how that was like acceptable. How did that,
But here's the thing. It's right up there with the plumber's crack. Nobody wants to look at a plumber's crack. Nobody wants to look at a belly covered in hair. No. If I go back in there, I'm dropping a razor on the thing and with a note saying, shave your belly or wear a bigger shirt. Disgust.
I
That's it.
think, Chrissy, to your point, it is like a plumber's crack, but to the siding of the plumber, at least if you can see his crack, that dude's breaking his back doing some shit you're glad to not be doing. And he's under a sink.
Okay.
There's no food involved. Yeah, it sucks, but you know what? At least he's doing something that you don't want to, and you're glad it's getting done.
Yeah.
We'll give him a pass because we
Okay.
say that with a smile, plumber's crack. This is food. This is food. When
Right.
I was in high school, I worked for two Greek brothers who sold pizza in New Hampshire because that's what Greeks do in New England. They sell pizza and they do it well. These guys, they would sell, I don't know, 100 pizzas in a night. It was unbelievable. They 500, I don't know. They crank pizzas, but the way that they would make the pizza, one of the brothers, Jimmy, he was a shorter guy. Logistically, it makes sense. Anyway, when they would make the sauce, so they'd buy the cans of sauce, right, from like a Cisco or something, but then they'd add some spice and make it their own so it had a nice flavor. The way they would stir it in, Jimmy would roll up his short sleeve pizza restaurant shirt and stick his whole arm into a Rubbermaid trash can. They had a Rubbermaid trash can. That's where
No.
they poured the sauce. And he would stir it like his arm was a giant spoon. And he's Greek. He had a hairy, bearded arm that he would stick in that sauce. And it was just, he'd pull his arm out, there was sauce, and he'd just give one of those. And then he'd make the pizza. And you're like, you know what? Because our slogan was 400 degrees will kill anything. That
Oh,
was our line at this pizza restaurant. And it was gross, but you know what? He didn't even think twice. He just like, yeah, shit, I guess that's what we do here. Who, whatever. Who cares? The hair will be that big. It was disgusting, revolting. But at least it was in the back. Nobody saw. The pizza was great, and we delivered it. Right in the front of a big, hairy Frenchman on pastries. They're already cooked. The pastries are already cooked. There's no oven to come in and save the day.
Yeah.
This is just a sweaty, fat gut hair on
And
your, blints.
Your glazed is going to have some extra on it that you didn't order.
yeah.
Oh.
What is that? Is that dill? No, that's my belly hair. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up.
Dill. Is it dill?
Yeah.
Is it? If your dill looks like the
Disgusting.
belly.
Chrissy, what about if his belly is not hairy though?
And
That
you
can
just
make a
see
difference?
skin?
Yeah. What if he's
Well-
what if he's a hot guy?
That's where he's going with it.
If he's
Yeah.
a hot guy, yeah, I'll make some concessions. If he's got like that, tank top and he's buff and you see a little belly skin, I'm good with that. But the minute you throw in that hair,
Yeah.
it's over. It's done. I'm not going back. It's disgusting.
Chrissy, what if he's hot? What if he's hot? He's got the tank top and he does that like music video with the sun coming through and he just kind of like this, like he's been working so hard in the hot kitchen. And you happen to notice a little drop of sweat falls, lands right on your pastry, whatever it was going to be. And then do you go, I'd pay extra for that? Or do you go, it was great until that's disgusting. No, I can't do it.
If I don't even like Brad Pitt or any like hot guy,
Sure.
if his sweat falls on even near my food,
Really?
I'm done.
Really?
Yeah, no way. No way.
Yeah, I don't know,
Nope.
Paul. If it's a her and she's in a bikini,
Yeah.
I think I'm ordering a baker's dozen.
Oh,
I was going to
God,
say, I'm not
RC.
out. I'm not out. Nothing here has turned me off. Yeah, I don't care. It's,
You guys are so easy. Unbelievable. I always say
But-
that.
but if we see a hot girl and then she lifts up her arm to wipe the sweat that hasn't turned us off yet, but we see just
Yeah.
the armpit,
Yeah.
gross.
Then
I'm out.
suddenly I'm on a diet.
I agree. Suddenly, it's all it takes. I see girls on social
the
media will
hair.
do that.
It's all
Yeah.
about the hair. It's the
It
is.
hair.
It totally is.
It
You know.
is.
Well,
Keep the hair away from the foot. I actually, I don't want to say it. All right. So for the last few weeks, I've been on this binge. I've been losing weight. I'm feeling good. And I'm on a very high protein diet and it's been working great. I've been eating street tacos from a place down the street that's out in front of a Rite Aid on the sidewalk. I get their tacos every night for 3 weeks. Finally, I was like, all right, it's great. I'm doing high protein, but this is not the healthiest way to go to bed. I do feel it a little bit of Christ. You ate street tacos every night. Last night, I followed through with my plan. I said, I'm going to start doing salad for dinner. I'm going to go to Whole Foods. I'm going to go to the salad bar and I'm going to make a nice green salad. And I'm going to have a healthy dinner. So last night was the first time in 3 weeks I broke away from these tacos. I get the salad. I sit down, the one in Ventura, next to Casa de Cadillac. They have a nice bar where you can sit. You can bring your salad bar and just sit, watch, basketball games. Second bite, I pulled out a hair that had to be 10 inches. It had to have been 10 inches.
No.
It was, I just
No.
pulled it out and like from both
Oh
sides, it was kind
God.
of,
I
I
can't
know,
even look.
I know. And it had just a little bit of like a little wave to it. I
Well,
know I have buddies who would possibly heave.
Me too.
And I'm like, you know what? It's out. What am I going to return the salad I paid for by the pound? I'm going to go get another salad. It took me 10 minutes just to put this shit together. Probably there's not two hairs. It's a salad bar. It's an open serving kind. Shit's going to happen.
you finished your salad.
I moved on, man. I did. I ate my salad. What do you guys think of that? Could you guys continue the salad or is it game over?
No, I'm tossing it. I'm tossing
Really?
it.
I'm tossing it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Gary,
I'm
Sound
going
Engineer
back.
Gary.
What color was the hair?
Fair question. Same color as my wife's. And I know one time we had a situation at Mr. Furley's on Ventura. A lot of local name dropping here, but we were at Mr. Furley's one night and we complained that there was a hair in her pasta, which this is not Whole Foods salad bar, $8 in and out. This is like a $30 plate of pasta, like, come on, you're trying to enjoy this. And they were kind of like a pain in the ass about taking, but there's a fucking hair. Don't give us a hard time. Just go make us new pasta. This is cheap as shit for you. Just do it. This is gross. It did cross my mind though that there's a very real chance that might have been my wife's own hair that fell in that pasta. And so I had to wonder because women shed a lot. Is there a possibility this hair that was very much the same color and sort of the same wave as my wife's hair? I was like, what if that hair might have been like on my collar and fell in? You know what I mean? Like it's the same color. I don't know. That was what I told myself. That's how I moved on. It was probably ours, but realistically, is there any situation where you would have finished a salad? Like if you're like, oh, what if it could be my wife's?
Chrissy?
No. If I make a salad and I find a hair in the salad I make, I'm disgusted. So
No, so that's funny. You say a situation. So yes, there is a situation. It's the one Chrissy just said. If I'm at home, then okay, it's a local hair. I'm okay. But
See?
but at the bar, at the
I
salad
know.
bar, you
I
don't
know.
know where that. No,
I know.
no.
no.
Well, I just rationed that there's probably not a second one. That one's already been in my mouth, and there's no one doing it. If I thought by returning that salad we could dial back time 2 bites and I don't have a hair in my mouth at all, I go with that option. Yes, but there's no undoing. I have had a hair in my mouth, sort of like a plane crash. The safest plane you can be on is the company that just crashed last week because they're not going to crash again. The salad that just had one hair, I guess statistically probably might have a second hair, but I felt like, hey, this is it. I either eat from a salad bar or I don't.
It's solid logic. I wouldn't do it though.
I know.
I'm not eating anything.
I would probably side with you if I weren't staring down the salad last night and just, like I would side with you if it weren't firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, it's not protein though. You started the
Well,
story with I'm on a protein diet.
well, the hair is protein actually, isn't it?
Oh, the
I
hair
think
is. I thought it
Yeah,
was fiber.
it could be both. I mean, there are civilizations that eat their bugs and shit, but and
no.
yeah.
Hair is a deal breaker. I don't care if it's mine. It doesn't matter.
Even if it's your own.
And you know what else? I'm afraid to send food back because I don't want to insult anybody. So I just won't eat it because I'm afraid that if I send it back and they're pissed off at me now that they have to redo it, they might come back with they might have done something weird in the kitchen. So I
Well,
get very paranoid.
You, we can. I'll make a marker on this reel. We can cut this if Chrissy doesn't want this story aired. But I will tell you a real story that's really happened to me in New York City.
Oh, God.
I worked in a busy real estate office. We were the bad news bears. We didn't do big purchases. We did leases. We worked with a lot of college people. It was a really fun job, high volume. Anyway, it was a ragtag group of people who took this job. A lot of people straight out of like AANA. Like it was just we were a motley crew. Anyway. One day I'm there with my buddy, and we decide we're going to go get breakfast sandwiches on a Saturday, and we go into a busy deli right down the street. And my buddy gets into it with the Mexican guys behind the deli. There's 3 or 4 of them back there. And I don't know, like I've done it a million times, so I didn't think twice of it. But
Not
this
good.
time I was cooling him off because he got hot with these guys and he pissed him off and they pissed him off. And I don't know what it was, but we all left. We go back to the office. I'm eating my sandwich
Oh God.
and I feel a hair.
Oh,
I pull it out. It was curly. I open my sandwich and there's 3 more. There are 3 curly fucking hairs, 3 short curlies in my sandwich. I don't say a word to anyone, my whole team, because it's not busy yet. There's no one else in the office. It's just the team. I just, what the fuck? And I package up my sandwich into a ball and I ran out of the door. My buddies, I could hear them behind me. They go, oh shit, oh shit. And they start running after me. I'm running up 23rd Street as fast as I can, north on 23rd to about 28th Street, 5 blocks straight. And I can hear them full speed running behind me. And I walk in and I go, what the fuck is this? And I overhand throw the sandwich at the guys behind the counter and I make a beeline for the counter. Now, this huge Japanese guy who owns the restaurant, he comes running over. Oh, what the fuck is it with that? And I start yelling, he's got fucking pubes in my sandwich. Piece of shit, put fucking pubes. One of the guys has a knife because they're freaking out behind the counter. And I said, I will kill. And there's also a line. It's Saturday morning. There are 15, 20 people who want to buy sandwiches at this place. My buddies are screaming. They start holding me back. And they're like, no, 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 don't do it. And I said, no, that son of a bitch, because I'm realizing he didn't know whose sandwich it was for. He probably thought it was going to be my buddy's sandwich. And we have this whole thing. And the manager ends up apologizing to me. He just wants to get me outside. I'll give you whatever you want. You can have free shit, all you want, whatever it is. And I go, no, what I want is for you to know you have someone so sick on your team that that's what he would do. He was mad at this guy and he put goddamn pubes in my fucking sandwich and I could kill everyone in this place. And it didn't, no one got killed, but it did at least feel good to baseball throw full speed that sandwich at the wall, aiming for the guy, and at least have the whole restaurant know this is where you eat. I want everyone in this restaurant to know you should walk out right now.
What kind of sandwich? What kind of sandwich?
Bacon, egg, and cheese. And to a reference to a previous episode where we talked about cheeses, it's that bullshit orange American cheese. It's not good. It's like a Kraft single, but like industrial grade garbage. It doesn't melt. But yes, it was a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant, probably.
Emotional scar territory right there.
yeah.
Honestly, I could see a therapist for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could. And I wasn't going to jump the counter. I knew I wasn't going to jump the counter. I'm not going to go to jail and end up in a New York City jail on a weekend and sit in county until Monday and have my record that I beat the hell out of one guy who has 4 friends with knives. And you know what I mean? Like, no, I knew how far it was going to go. I knew from the start, but I needed to make my point clear. Don't ever do that to anyone again because some people come back.
So
Some people
now
only work.
So now every time you order a sandwich, do you like, are you
I think for a while I
like-
did. I think for a while I did, especially in New York. Well, I'll tell you what I do. I don't start shit with the guy behind the counter who's going to make my food. And if I do,
Yeah,
I walk out and I don't take the food.
that's the lesson. You go back and if you're going to give them a hard time, you do it after you eat.
I think when this episode drops, we need to put a chyron on the front of the episode saying, do not listen to this episode while having lunch, breakfast, or dinner, because there will be consequences.
There
Yeah,
should
but
be.
you need to create an acronym for not suitable while dining.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the one not suitable for work? NSFW, not
Yeah.
suitable for
Yeah.
meals.
We
NSFM, NSFE, not suitable while eating. NSWE, yeah. But it's
RC,
been a
this has
fun
been-
ride. It's been a
this has
fun
been-
ride.
Yeah, this has been great. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
That's
I
a
hope
lot of fun.
we.
Should we still do comments? It's been a long ep. Should we still do?
No,
what
I
do you-
don't have any comments for this episode.
There's nothing to comment.
Yeah,
We've
I mean, we're
commented.
great. That's all.
We should definitely do
A
one
bath at your house together?
public
Oh,
breastfeeding. We need to do that one.
Yes,
Let's
for
do it.
sure. I'll do that.
let's do it.
I'll save it for you, RC. That could be one full episode, for God's sakes. You
think
you
so.
guys have so much to talk about.
It'd be a mini series for me.
Oh my All right then. Well, here we are at the end. We had RC, our guest, and he was fantastic. By the
Awesome.
way, he's got 2 Emmys, but he really has 10. But he's
And but
yeah,
who's counting? Wait, how many do you have, Chrissy?
16. But who's counting?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's exciting. Like the first 5 are really exciting, right?
yeah, and then it's
Then it's like,
Yeah.
where am I
It's like
going to?
Tom Brady Super Bowls. Like just throw it with the others after a while. Like, who cares?
yeah, exactly. But when you want to see RC, you got to go to YouTube or Instagram. You'll see RC there. Well, he's on TikTok with us. If you want to write in a vent for RC, just go to our website, write it in, or you can call us and leave a voice vent at 818-570-2535. Thank you, Gary, for showing the number. And this has been fun. Thank you,
Very
RC.
fun.
You're a doll. You're back, babe. You're
Had a
coming
great
back.
time. Have me back anytime. I'll do it again.
All right, toodles.
Toodaloo.